Hi, I'm Joe O'Connor. I'm the founder and director of the Community Sports Development Alliance and the Community Sports Development Council. And I wish I could be with you personally today. I have a fairly brutal travel schedule, and right now I happen to be sitting in Cape Town, South Africa. And as it's raining back in Oregon, it's 75 degrees and sunny here, so I'm happy for that. But I want to just share briefly with you a little bit of a history of how our CSD Alliance can work and partner with your community to bring new, all-weather, safe, synthetic turf sports fields to your schools, to your parks, to your colleges, and to your sports clubs. I myself have been a frustrated president of a soccer club, as well as a varsity soccer boys coach and varsity soccer girls coach. And one of our biggest headaches was in not having adequate fields that we could play with in all weather conditions. That's how I became convinced synthetic turf fields can really bring so many more opportunities to a school or to a parks department or to a college. They're also very environmentally sensitive and safe because they don't use fertilizer, they don't use pesticides, you never have to irrigate them or water them. We've discovered they have 40% fewer injuries on a synthetic turf field than on real grass, which is really very significant from a health standpoint. And a school will save anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 a year in actual hard dollar costs that they have to spend maintaining a natural grass field. And on the other side of the coin, you often can realize $35,000, $40,000, even $50,000 a year in revenue when private sports groups come out of the woodwork, as they will, to want to rent your field once you have it installed. So that's almost an $80,000 swing in bottom line dollars to the school budget. So we're real excited about that. What we did is we approached some of the key presidents and CEOs of companies across the United States that were involved in helping to install sports facilities and synthetic turf fields. And we asked them if they would consider joining us in a sponsorship program where we would help 12 to 15 schools or parks install these synthetic turf fields. And they all answered affirmatively and were excited about working with us. We promised them we wouldn't abuse their generosity. We would only do this at 12 to 15 projects a year. And we first launched this in 2010. And we've done a number of high schools, a number of parks projects. We're working with our first college. And so we're real excited about the ability to deliver these synthetic turf fields on a sponsorship basis. So the way our program works and our goal is, I guess that grows out of part of our frustration as well, and that is the cost of these new synthetic turf fields are averaging $1.2 to $1.4 million. And that is really disparaging to me because of the desperate need for these fields, and yet the cost is often so exorbitant a school or a school district just can't consider spending that kind of money. So our goal with our national sponsorship program is to bring the cost down to about $400,000, or 1/3 what normally would be paid. And that was the formula that we pitched to our National Alliance members when we invited them to join us. So we have one of the largest synthetic turf mills in the industry as part of our alliance. We have a synthetic turf installation contractor. We have a crumb rubber mill. We have an architect that works with us. We have a shipping company, and probably 3, 4, 5 other alliance members that work very closely with us. Now, we have the goal of delivering a turf field for $400,000. You still need to raise that money locally among the key movers and shakers in your community. You're probably watching this video and at this meeting because you've been identified as someone who has a certain degree of influence in your community and someone who in the past has demonstrated a real love and commitment to your community and to your schools. And so in helping to facilitate raising the $400,000 that still is needed, we've come across a program that we've called the Collaborative Donor Funding Mechanism. And this is where a donor or a group of donors can actually be the parties that acquire the synthetic turf field. They are the ones who are given the sponsorship from our National Alliance so that they can purchase a field for $400,000 or less. This field is then installed at your local school under an agreement with the school district that clearly identifies that the school always owns the underlying land. There's no liens or encumbrances on the land, but the donor group or the funding group will own the synthetic turf field, at least for the first year. The reason that we recommend this is that If you were to just donate $400,000 to the school to acquire this field, you would get a $400,000 tax deduction. But if you acquire an asset and then own that asset for longer than a year, which is an IRS holding period requirement, then when you donate the asset rather than the money, you will get a tax deduction for the fair market value of that asset on the day you donate it. Well, a year after it's installed, it will still be worth $1.1 to $1.2 million. And so that is the collaborative donor. Now, we're not here to give you tax advice or accounting advice. We always are very careful to say you must talk with your own tax advisor to be sure that you have a good comfort level in entering this kind of a transaction. But we've been part of this before. The last high school that just had a field donated to them, the appraisal came back at $1.1 million, and we were very pleased with that. That donor spent $382,000 to acquire that field and install it at the school. So under this program, it's not that you're asked to donate money. What you're asked to do is consider purchasing an asset. This asset that can be a huge, huge blessing to your community. And then after a year, after seeking the advice of your accounting and tax counsel, if you were to donate that asset, your tax deduction should be the fair market value of that asset on the day you donate it. So that's the collaborative donor model. So we would love to partner with you in seeing this new field installed in your community. It could be a huge blessing. And I know that you have some information and some flyers that probably have been shared with you about this. And so I would just invite you to contact us, to check out our website. It's csdcouncil.org. I'd love to talk to any of you in person and answer any questions that I have. And I look forward to meeting you. And hopefully this summer we'll see a brand new synthetic turf stadium field installed in your community. Thank you so much for your time.